everyone. A very good day to all of you joining us. Welcome to Kissflow's Global Demo Day. I am Megha, your host for today, and with me I have our expert and speaker for today, Mr. Ramachandran, who's a seasoned product manager who transitioned from an engineering background. He brings with him over 7 years of valuable experience in product development, strategy formulation, customer and prospect engagement, and product advocacy. His current role involves managing the process module of Kissflow. And in today's session, Mr. Ramachandran will be helping you all understand how you can exercise governance over citizen development with a low-code platform. So the demo session will be for 30 minutes. And in the session, you'll be learning how to govern applications created across platforms, potential data exposures, access controls, and user activity. So before we get started with the demo, I would just like to share a point across with all of you is that at the end of the session, we have an announcement that we will disclose at the end of the session. So make sure to stay till the end. And secondly, during the session, during the demo, if you're having any questions, doubts, or like to understand the platform, or while you're seeing the demo, if you're having questions popping up, you can keep dropping them in the Q&A box. So the Q&A window will be open throughout the session. You can keep dropping all your queries and questions in there, and we will answer it in the end of the session in the Q&A phase. So without any further delay, we can get started with the session. Over to Mr. Ramachandran.
Hello everyone, welcome to Kissflow's Demo Day. I am Ram, a Senior Product Manager from Kissflow, and today I'm going to talk to you all about exercising governance over citizen development within a low-code platform. Under 30 minutes today, we'll be seeing how to govern application created across platform, potential data exposures, and governing access controls and user activities. Generally, what prevents IT from confidently extending low-code, no-code platforms to business teams? Low-code, no-code platforms offer a gateway to rapid application development. However, security and privacy concerns often hinder IT from fully embracing these solutions. Kissflow is a low-code, no-code platform that addresses these concerns by providing comprehensive governance mechanisms that will allow business teams to build apps securely. From overseeing the creation of applications to meticulously managing access controls and monitoring user activity, Kissflow offers powerful features to help you navigate the LCNC landscape confidently. It also empowers IT teams to implement stringent security measures without compromising on the flexibility provided by LCNC platforms. With this, let's quickly jump into the demo to witness firsthand how Kissflow streamlines governance and allows organizations to build and manage applications securely. So over today's sessions, I'll be running you all through a short presentation before jumping into the product demo. So whenever organizations look for citizen developer friendly platforms, they look for functionalities like a lot of pre-built libraries and templates to choose from, ability to deploy in just one click, a very neat and sleek visual editors, a very simple user experience for the non-tech business users who are going on about the citizen development program, very, very minimal cognition as much as possible, and absolutely zero code. But what all the other problems that they usually face while trying to figure out such a platform having all the functionalities that I just mentioned is that IT is always reluctant about one particular factor, which is the shadow IT. IT teams are generally worried about data exposures. Since all of these low-code, no-code platforms that we are talking about, especially when handled by citizen developers, it is going to be subjected through a lot of sensitive or rather potentially sensitive data. And they do not want this data to be exposed since they are supposed to follow certain norms and they are supposed to be compliant with a lot of data policies, that they are always paranoid about data exposures and their implications. And this also extends to the security norms that they are supposed to follow. The third thing is the inefficient operations. So whenever the non-tech business users are allowed to create applications on their own, especially thinking about the fact that they are not pretty much involved in the or they are not pretty much well versed with the development activities and or how to go on about developing applications. There could be a lot of redundant applications that are created. There could be a lot of applications that are never used at all. There could be a lot of applications that are not built correctly. So in a nutshell, they are the IT is very reluctant about the non-tech business users operating inefficiently through the platform that has been provisioned to them. And finally, there are a lot of complaints that has always been a headache for IT, and which is not generally made aware to all of these business users who are going through the citizen development program to the said platform. So these are some of the factors because of which IT always tries to exercise full authority over this development platforms rather than giving the entire delegation to the business teams for them to go on about the citizen development. Consider this airbag analogy. When you are trying to buy a car, you look for a lot of features like a very exhaustive engine, very nice looking exteriors, very richly built interiors, very comfortable seat, and all the other features that generally you would look for in a car. Apart from this, what there is that one very important safety features that we always look into while buying a car: the number of airbags and the successful deployment rate, and how safe you are if at all there is a unfortunate situation where the airbags are supposed to be deployed. So if you actually think about it, be it the engine, be it the comfortable seats, be it the exteriors and the interiors, you are going to use these things day in and out. Every day you are going to start your car, you are going to use this feature. But why are you also particular about this airbag feature, which you may never use in your entire lifetime, or you would rather pray that you are not going to be in a position where you are supposed to use this feature, but still you give the same importance or even more importance to this particular feature than all the other features that I had mentioned? The reason is, irrespective of whether you are going to use it or not, having such a functionality in your car is going to give you the peace and that satisfaction of having to drive your car safely. It gives you a sense of security, and that is exactly what the governance feature is aiming to give to the organizations that are trying to adopt a citizen development platform into their day-to-day operations. So Kissflow's governance is all about giving entire visibility to IT from a bird's eye point of view without them having to get into the finite details of how day-to-day operations are being run, just to ensure that security and privacy are intact. So with all of this being said, we'll quickly jump into the product demo. So this is Kissflow's product homepage. The way you access governance is there is a profile icon in the top right corner. Click on that, and you just click on account governance, and here it is. So for account governance, there is nothing that is required to be set up separately. This is an out-of-the-box functionality that is readily available for anyone who is accessing the platform. Of course, it is restricted to users belonging to the super admin role, typically like admins of an account. And with all of the changes that is happening inside the platform, everything will be reflected as soon as things are happening inside this governance layer. So there is nothing that's required for anyone to set up in here. There is nothing for anyone to update in here. So it's as available as it gets along. So once you come into this account governance page, there are multiple menus that are available for you to choose from in the left-hand side. So all of these are artifacts that are either can be created by users inside the platform, or these also could be some system artifacts that are not created but rather acquired inside your platform. So there are things like users, groups, processes, boards, apps, connections, data set lists, and authentication keys. So say, for example, users can create processes, boards, apps within your organizations, and users are not created, but rather are invited to your platform. So all of the artifacts available within the platform, and all of the instances that are created inside all of these artifacts are readily available for you to govern from here. So for each and every artifact, there is a dashboard. So let's start with the users dashboard. So here in the users dashboard, there is a lot of widgets for you to see from. So there is a roles widget, which is going to give you a classification of how your users have been spread across different system roles that are available inside this platform. And there is another widget that is talking about the citizen development trend that is happening inside your organization. So number of users who have gone on about creating processes, number of users who have gone on to create boards and apps. And it also gives you a top creators trend, which could let you know who are all the business users who have gone on to create more applications inside your organization. And you could motivate them to build more, and you could also talk to a lot of other potential business users who could have created but have not created at all. So from here, you would be able to drill down into any of these widgets and see the exact list of users within the number that we just saw in the previous widget. And from here, you would also be able to, apart from seeing the details of each and every individual instance from this list, you would also be able to further go inside one of such instance. So for example, I have gone into this David Richards user entry. So I'm able to see what is the system role of this particular user inside the platform, and when did he last sign in, and when was he added on to this platform, and who did add this person to this platform. And all of the flows that he has created. Flows is nothing but the applications that are created inside the platform. So that David Richards has gone on to create one process, 3 boards, and he hasn't created any apps, and in total he has created 4 applications altogether. And there are lots and lots of other widgets for you to investigate into with respect to David Richards. So say, for example, all of the flows that he is an admin of. So when we typically say an admin ties to a certain privileged permissions, right, within any given application. So it is always the right approach is to ensure that the right people are given the right privileges. So you would want to ensure that David Richards is not part of any other flow that is not supposed to be an admin to. So you could ensure that from here, and you could check all the groups that is part of, and all the data sets. Data sets are nothing but master data. So yeah, all of these could have a lot of sensitive and confidential information as well. So you could also ensure, if at all this person is not having access to anything that he's not supposed to have access to, and all of the list that he is part of, and all of the integrations that this person has created. So when it comes to integrations, there is this another caveat, right? So typically when we talk about data and potential data exposures, integrations is one place where there is a lot of potential to these data exposure. So typically integrations involve bridging multiple systems with the platform. And when we say that there is a possibility of data that is lying or subjected through this platform to be potentially leaked across multiple third-party systems when such integrations have been created. So, say for example, there could be a policy within your organization that says that no data of yours or your customers can lie in, let's say, a Google ecosystem. So you could come here and see if at all there are any integrations that are created where a Google connector has been used, which means that potentially data can flow through Google's third-party application. So here the arrow mark indicates that the data could be potentially be sent over to a third-party system, and the icon depicts which exact third-party system that the data is being sent to. So here you could see that it is being sent to Slack. And as I said, if at all there are any Google connectors over here, you could be alarmed, and you could carry on your further investigation with David Richards, who has gone on to create such integration. And all of the connections that this person has created can also be governed, and all the authentication keys that are created on behalf of his account can also be seen. Typically authentication keys are used to do API automations. And of course the active sessions, all of the devices that this user is accessing this platform from can be seen, just to ensure that there's no hacking or something through which the account is compromised. and where did they last access it from, and the IP address of wherever it was accessed from. And these three widgets are one another important aspect of this governance. So typically, as I said, a lot of data, potentially sensitive and confidential data, is being subjected through these platforms, and there is a very high responsibility for the IT, and there is an indirect responsibility on the business teams as well to ensure that the data it's not going beyond the firewall. So if at all you look at the channels through which the data can go out of the firewall, we have already seen about the integrations. Now there is an option to download data. There is an option to print data. There is an option to export data, maybe as a CSV or a spreadsheet. So again, these three are few other channels through which the data can actually get out of the firewall, where the control goes out of the platform. So if someone has downloaded the entire content, and even if the admin goes on to remove that user from the account, he's still going to have the data, since he has already downloaded it into a maybe something like a personal drive. So this also gives you an information about all of the downloads that the user has done, all of the prints that the user has done, all of the exports that this user has done. And it also tells you what exactly has he downloaded or printed or exported, and at what date and time did he actually do. We have seen multiple cases where there could be some disgruntled employees within the organization. They could have been fired, or they could have put papers because they were not happy with the organization, their pay scale or something like that. So before they go, what they do is sometimes they download and print or export it to some of their personal drives or to their personal email ID, so that they could take data away for malicious intent. It could help them poach some clients to the new workplace that they're going, or for some reason they do that. So even if the admin is going to remove them from the platform, there is still the risk of exposure. So these widgets can help you investigate that before you even let go of someone completely from your organization. And on top of this, there is going to be a complete audit log of every single action that this person has taken. So it tells you the timestamp, it gives you what action did they actually go on to do, and on top of what object did they do that action. And there is this even category, which is nothing but a classification of all the actions that are potentially there. And it also gives you some whereabouts of the OS that they use, the IP, the batch ID, etc. These are some things that will help you investigate into more finer details. And similarly, you have groups where you would be able to see all of the groups that are created inside the platform, and you would be able to click on one particular group, and you would be able to see all of the users that are part of the group, and you would be able to see who created the group, when was it created, and how many members are there. And if at all there is a subgroup within a group, you would be able to see that as well from here. As of now, for this group, there is no subgroup, which is why it's showing 0. And for processes, again, it has its own set of widgets. You could see that there is a classification by status, all of the live processes, all of the processes that are still in draft, and there are idle processes. Typically, as I said, if you could circle back to the point that I talked about during the presentation, inefficient operations is one problem that IT is worried about while business users are adopting citizen development. So there could be a lot of processes that are created but never used. There could be a lot of redundant processes. People could have created processes without knowing that such a process is already existing and is being run. So all of these processes could be discovered from here. So idle processes is nothing but all the processes in which there have been no transactions in the given time period that has been selected. So you have options to choose from last 15 days all until last 1 year. And there are multiple widgets related to security and permissions. Again, this is going to be very much related to the data exposure that we have been continuously talking about. All of the processes in which public forms are enabled. Public forms are nothing but the form that is part of the application is made available for the users outside the platform. So it could be hosted in a third-party link. It could be hosted in your website as an iframe, something like that. So if at all these forms are subjected to external users, you would be able to see it from here. And externally connected is nothing but all of the processes that are created to which an integration is built with an external connector, let's say like Google or Microsoft or Slack or something like that. And the last two widgets are unrestricted download permissions and print permissions. So typically, as I was talking about, people could download and print data, but there is a configuration which could restrict this particular action. So if at all there are any processes where these permissions are unrestricted, where anyone who is having access to the processes being able to download or print, they would be flagged here as well. From here, you would be able to drill down into any of these widgets, and you will be able to see a list of all the items. So if you click on any particular list, and then you would be able to further click into one of the process and go inside that for a detailed investigation as well. So here you could see that who created this process, when was it created on, and when was it last published, and who published it last. And all of the admins of this process is being listed as well. So again, you would be able to ensure that the right people are having access to this particular process. And you would also be able to see the recent activity to ensure that this process is being used regularly. If at all it's not being used, you could go on to investigate with whoever publishes last, or who is the owner of this process, or any of the admins that are listed over here, to ensure that this is not an unused process for some reason. And you are able to see if at all the public form is enabled or disabled, and you are able to see the integrations that are built within this process. And if at all there are any third-party connectors, you could see here that the data is being taken to Gmail. You could see the icon, and you could see the external connector denotion. And we have also used artificial intelligence to uncover one another data exposure. So it uses artificial intelligence to sense if at all there are any sensitive data that is being captured as part of the process. So here you could see that there is a name that is being captured, there is email that is being captured, there is phone number that is being captured. So these are all personally identifiable information, right? So as a IT admin or someone who is exercising admin control over the platform, it is very essential for them to understand if at all such sensitive information is being captured in any of these applications, just to ensure that no such information is captured for malicious intent. And you'll be able to see if at all any other processes are looking up to data from this particular process, or if at all if this process is being looking up to any other processes or any other boards or application that is created within the platform. And similarly, within this process, you would also be able to see if at all there has been any downloads, if at all there have been any prints or exports as well, with the same information that we saw within the user's print, download, and export logs. And again, there is a very detailed audit log of all the actions that have happened inside this process by any user, with the same information that we saw in the previous audit log of users. And for boards, it's almost the same. The widgets are same. It's the same thing in the securities and permissions as well. You have all boards, you have idle boards, you have externally connected, unrestricted download and print permissions. Board doesn't have public form, because of which there is no widget attached to the public form functionality. Again, from here, you would be able to drill down into any of the board, and you will be able to carry out a very detailed investigation, very similar to process. There is no difference between the widgets that are available inside the process and the boards. And again, for apps, you would also be able to see all of the apps that are created within the platform. You would be able to click on any app. You would be able to see who created it, who last deployed, when was it created, and when was it last deployed, and all of the admins and all of the roles that are within the app, all of the integrations that are created along with the connectors, and if at all there are any public forms within the app, which means that these forms could be accessed by external users who are not part of the platform. and if at all there are any flows with internal reference, with external reference. So here you could see that there are no internal references or external references, which means that this app is acting on a standalone basis, which means that there is no adjacent investigation that you need to do with adjacent apps as well. So that is one thing that you can be sure of. And if at all someone has created any custom components, and if at all there are any deployments that has happened in the last 15 days. So you could see here that over the last 15 days, there are no deployments, and you could be very sure that the current build that's there in the production is a very stable one. You could even go to last 90 days, and you could see that still there is no deployment, which means this particular application has been stable for the last 90 days. And connections is nothing but the sub artifacts that are used to build integration. So this is what is connecting Kissflow's platform to all of the third-party connectors. Here you could see that if at all there is an arrow mark denotion, it means that it is an external connector, and you would also be able to see what exactly is the external connector that we are connecting the platform with. And one connection with a particular authentication can be used in multiple integrations. So it also lists the number of integrations in which it is used, and when was it created, and who created this particular connection. You would be able to click on one particular connection and look at the fine details as well. So who is the admin of this particular connection, and all of the integrations that are using this particular connection. And coming to data sets, as I said earlier, data sets are nothing but master data. You would be able to see all of the master data that are created within the platform. You would be able to select one data set to go into the finer details as well. So in data sets, there could be multiple views that are created, and all of the views are available for you to rightly govern from. So for each and every view, apart from the main data set, you will be able to see all of the admins that are part of this data set, all of the exports, all of the lookups. So this basically means that all of these data are looked up into this data set. And if at all this data set is being looked up somewhere else, that would be listed as well. So here there is no such flow that is looking up to this particular data set. And if at all there are any integrations and downloads and audits, it would be rightly listed as well, similar to what we saw in process boards and apps. And again, here in datasets, you would be able to take the help of AI to scan if at all there are any sensitive data. So again, here you could see that the contact person's name, email, and phone number is being captured here, which could be a potential red flag. And we also have a list of all the lists that have been created. So typically lists are another artifact that could be created within the platform. You could click on a list and see all the admins that they are part of, and all the places where this particular list has been consumed. And finally, coming to authentication keys, we have listed all of the authentication keys that have been created on behalf of a lot of user accounts, and when is it going to expire, and how long has it been active for, when was it created, and who created it, and when was it last accessed, and what is the status of it. So typically authentication keys are used to run APIs to automate systems, right? So whenever it is being done, it is going to be done on behalf of a user's authentication and user's identity. So it is very essential for anyone to understand all of the nuances of these authentication keys that have been created. So the activity period, and when it is going to expire. So typically an authentication key that is set to never expire is a red flag. So potentially it means that it is going to be used forever and ever without a proper monitoring. So yeah, again, if at all you see any authentication key with the expiry set to never, you could go on and investigate with whoever created it to ask why have they specifically set to this, and you can even ask them to change it to a defined period. So this is what the first release of governance is all about. We just released it like a couple of quarters back, and with our current customers base, we have received exceptional feedback with all of them saying that they have found it very useful, and they have actually told that right now they are able to peacefully hand over the platform to their business users without having to fear about all of the problems that we talked about during the slide show. And with this, we are also planning to do more iterations on top of this governance. For example, all of the investigations that I talked about, all of the actions that I talked about, after you go on about deriving insights out of these reports, you would be able to do that from within the screen as well. So for example, if you see here that there is no expiry set to this particular authentication key, you would be able to supersede this from here itself. That is something that we are working on as a next version of our governance. So here if you see that there is a list of super admins for you to check, and if you see Victor's name and you figure out that he is not supposed to be a super admin, you will be able to remove it from here itself without having to go to the right place where you would actually do that action. So similarly, for all the insights that you are able to derive from all of these reports that are here, you would be able to do contextual actions from this particular governance page as well. So that is what we are planning to do next, and we will keep you all posted on the developments of the second version. I really hope that you all enjoyed this demo. I really hope that it was very helpful. If at all you are looking for one such platform where you would really want all of this governance functionality for you to be very peaceful about your citizen development practice at your organization, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be very happy to have a more detailed conversation with you about our platform and this governance feature. See you all in next demo days. Stay tuned. Thank you.
That was an amazing session, Mr. Ramachandran. Very interesting and informative. I'm sure that a lot of you have questions flowing in, so you can start dropping them in the Q&A box. All right, we have a couple of questions. So the first question is, which user types will have access to the governance feature in the platform?
Yeah. So the governance feature is exclusive to the super admins of an account. So typically, they are the ones who would want to gain all of these insights across whatever the operations are happening in the platform, and this is pretty much exclusive information and access to them.
We have another question, and it's about how to configure and set these governance reports.
Typically the product doesn't expect you to configure or set up anything for you to monitor these metrics. It is completely out of the box, and it is readily available for you as and when you start the operations within the platform.
And we have one more question. How often should we idly govern these metrics?
Yeah. So ideally, there is no definite answer to this. It depends on how we have been running in your organizations and the kind of operations that you do within the platform. Probably what we can recommend is it could be aligned with the general IT audits that you do in your organization. And one stronger recommendation would be to do it on a recurring basis instead of just impromptu investigations every now and then. So of course, when there are incidents, you would be coming to this place to have a look at it. But if at all there is a recurring practice that you follow, that would be really great for the operations to run smoothly within the platform.
We have a final question. Do these metrics reflect real-time changes?
Yes, absolutely. The all of the metrics here are from the real-time data that's available within all the applications that have been created across the platform, and there is no latency that's attached to this.
We have one more question. I understand that super admin has access to governance. However, I may not be an super admin of the account, but admin or maintainer of the process. How do I check those metrics?
Yeah, that's a really nice question. So this governance feature right now is showcasing metrics across all of the processes applications that are created within the account, which is why it is right now exclusive to the super admins. But we do have plans to expose the per process metrics to the process owners alone. So that is something that you could expect as well. So once that comes in as a process owner, you would be able to see the metrics of only the processes that you are an owner of. So that is something that is being cooked as well as we speak.
And I hope the session was useful and informative to all of you. We host these global demos every month, and for the next month, please go have a look out to the Kissflow's events page for any new launches and new use cases that we will be discussing. You can definitely go ahead and register yourself if it aligns with your company's goals. Yes, so I hope this was informative. Thank you all for joining and taking in the time. I hope you have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.